Hey everybody, this is the Ripper, Jack Stevens, and you're listening to Wrestling with Entertainment.
Hello, 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 and welcome to the show. It's Wrestling with Entertainment, bringing you the latest exclusive breaking news, previewing and reviewing the latest shows from WWE, AEW, New Japan, and interviewing all your favorite wrestling talent every Saturday and Wednesday on Castbox. I am your host, James J. As always, alongside me, Coleco Yachts,
What it do, baby?
Mitch Mayhem,
Hey, what up, everybody?
and Scooter Dust.
Clunky.
And it's a great day for wrestling because we are celebrating the 2-year anniversary of Wrestling with Entertainment tonight. In the brand new year, 2021 is here. And what then a better way to bring it in with a watch along of the pay preview that sets us on our wrestling course for the rest of the year, right, guys?
Yep.
Yeah, you might say this is a COVID watch along.
And we are watching along, so
And many collective heads are shaking at the same time right about now.
you're gonna want to fire up your WWE Network, get your DVD players out, your VHSs, your Betamax, however you want to watch these 4 incredible matches that we have on for you tonight.
Hold on, I gotta get my telescope set up in front of my neighbor's window.
Our first, uh, our first match we are wrestling with is the Triple H versus Mankind match from Royal Rumble 2000 for the
Tisk,
WWE.
tisk.
Huh?
Tisk tisk. You wanna say that again?
Triple H versus Cactus Jack. My bad.
Cactus.
Cactus
There's 3 McFoleys.
versus Cactus Jack at Royal Rumble
3 faces,
2000 for the WWE Championship. Now, if you're watching this on the WWE Network, like most of us are, you're going to want to go to 1 hour, 6 minutes, and 24 seconds into the show. You're lined up and you're paused. And when I say 3, 2, 1, you're going to push play. You guys ready?
Ready?
Ready as I'll ever be.
3, 2, 1. I missed that old logo. That's a really cool champion.
The scratch logo.
Yeah. It's a little weird seeing the WWF.
And if you notice the graffiti on the right, it actually says Otis.
Like they knew. Oh, yeah,
They knew stakes and weights, baby. Yeah, tuck it, tuck it.
I mean, you could say that Cactus Jack was the original Otis to a degree.
Hell no.
I mean,
Don't
the
you
graffiti also
dare.
said Duke, so
But this is Cactus Jack. What's your favorite iteration of Mick Foley, Scooter?
dude love.
Mitch?
Mankind.
Coleco?
Dude, love.
Wait, was that a question?
Or was he singing the Dude Love theme song at the same time?
Oh no, I love the fact that he was just like,
Dude Love.
the anti-Shawn Michaels. He was like a fat Shawn Michaels, getting all them hoes.
It was making a joke of how Shawn saw himself, basically.
Sweet Shin music.
It was making a joke of how, yeah.
I mean, he was originally going to be Dude Love Handles.
He was a fat Shawn Michaels, basically.
That's what made it even better.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. The sarcasm. It was great, and only Foley could have pulled that off.
Must we say Triple H 2000 still trying to prove himself?
Absolutely. I don't think he was the game yet until 2001.
Well, I mean, look at if you listen to the ring music, it's not the game. He doesn't have
Right, but I know when I mean okay,
yeah.
but what I'm saying is like I don't think he was like his full self when he was like in the throes of like that title reign forever. I don't think he was there yet.
He didn't get the time to play the game music till his return in 2002.
Right.
He had the music, yeah. I forget what it's called, but yeah. It was like some 2000 shit.
I
forgot the name of that group. What was the name of that group?
I forget the group, but I know one of them is dead.
Oh, it's My Time. Yeah, My Time. Yeah, that's what it was called.
The atmosphere in Madison Square Garden that night was just,
I can imagine that the atmosphere in Madison Square Garden isn't always great.
Real
It's
quick,
Chris Warren sang the song.
That Triple H song. Oh, was it the same people who did the DX song?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sounds
they were
like
it. Yo, that's a good hit. Come back with another one, right?
You know what? I really like this theme song.
Now, the thing about this is that you have to realize that Triple H had only won the title back about 2-3 weeks prior, because Big Show was champion and Triple H, in what some think was a power move, beat Big Show for it on Raw, and it was a huge celebration with balloons from the rafters and everything. It's also the match where you can hear Triple H very loudly call for a side slam.
And the only reason Big Show was champion is because Rikishi hit Stone Cold with a mother effing car. You know, because of The Rock.
And of course, that.
Well,
that night,
was it really Rikishi though? Remember that whole hullabaloo?
He also beat, and of course, he won it at Survivor Series the same night where he beat Midian, Viscera, and 2 other people in a 4-on-1.
That's a callback from Mitch Mayhem's question from the trivia last week.
What? Which one?
Yeah, that was the question you had last week on the trivia show.
Refresh my memory. I know which one.
Big Show beating Midian.
Oh yeah, I didn't. I missed the Big Show. Yeah.
No, you got that right.
No, you didn't get that one right.
I did. Yeah, I missed it.
Oh.
It was one of the.
I
got a lot of. I got like most of them right, but I got like 2 or 3 wrong.
The San Martino ones were fucking you over.
Anything from my grandpa's age of wrestling, I was fucked.
I mean, I feel like you should know.
Before 83, 82, I didn't have like a real firm grasp on it, to be honest.
I mean, I feel like you should know who beat Bruno Sammartino for the championship after the 7-year streak. I mean, that should be common.
Well, most people think it's Billy Graham.
See,
yeah, a lot of people think it's Billy Graham.
Because I know it went from transition of Iron Sheik to Backlund or something like that.
Because because that was the end of the. Oh God, that was a shot.
God, those chair shots to the head, how they're missed.
And
They certainly didn't miss there.
I'm sure Cactus misses them too, if you remember them.
Yeah, if you can remember him after that headshot.
Yeah. And look at that. He just got up and he's literally acting like nothing happened. Like his brains were not just scrambled by a chair shot.
It's honest to God, he's a medical fucking miracle. Like, there's every indication is that he should be fucking brain dead right now. For real, like with all the fucking hits he took, like he is one of the luckiest men in the fucking world.
I mean, he should have been dead after the Hell in a Cell match with
He's
Undertaker.
Resilient motherfucker. Obviously, he's a resilient. Yeah, but you can't kill him.
Now this era,
And that's commendable, but just think about how much pain he takes. I mean, like there's no end to it because he doesn't die, you know.
and like we were talking about Triple H.
But he got the meanest lip on earth.
You know, that's entertainment. Someone I think.
Now we talked about Triple H not proving himself yet. I kind of felt like this was the rivalry that really made Triple H. And these matches with Mankind.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And it's kind of The Rock.
Put him on the track.
Mick Foley did it with The Rock in '99, and he did it with Triple H in 2000. So that really shows. And if maybe a lesser known rivalry with Austin after WrestleMania in '98. So I'll say it. Mick Foley is one of the most underrated workhorses in WWE.
The most overlooked, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. For sure. Yeah, one of the most overlooked for sure.
Because when you think of the 2000s, you don't even think. When you think of the late 90s, you don't even think Mick Foley.
Otis.
You think Austin, Rock, everybody else.
I mean,
think
I think
Otis.
of Mick Foley.
It's Otis.
Yep.
Right
I think of Mankind.
That's like the fifth name.
I think of
That's
Mankind.
like the fifth name. He's fifth on the list.
And Have a Nice Day. I remember buying that book when I was a teen.
If I'm not mistaken, Triple H gets a puncture wound on his leg from that. That drop.
I think it's that one.
I don't see anything at the moment.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I always liked the entranceway for the Madison Square Garden shows. It was so different from what they would do.
Because it was more intimate. It wasn't as big of an entranceway. It was more crunched together.
Right. And it was definitely a different presentation.
You know what I mean? Like the entrance was right there. You didn't have a lot of.
And it's the reason why Vince stopped doing pay-per-views there.
That's right. And then, which kind of sucks, because those matches at the Garden were always incredible. Like, most of my favorite matches, or the ones that come to mind the most, happened in Madison Square Garden. So.
I was on camera just for a second. They're all the way at the back. I was the white guy.
Which one?
I'm wearing red and white striped sweater, large wireframe glasses, and a Santa cap.
Oh, so you were
Oh no,
Waldo.
wait, that's Waldo.
Where's Scooter?
Yeah. And then in my off time, I'm Carmen Sandiego.
So who was you cheering for in this match when you watched it live, Scooter?
Good. Oh, probably since I came from around the same area as him. I was rooting for Cactus. I remember I absolutely hated Triple H at this time. I still had dial-up internet.
I think everybody kind of felt that way about Triple H in 2000.
Yeah, because Triple H to me was like trying to be Shawn Michaels #2. I felt like he was always little brother, like little brother Shawn Michaels. Little brother Shawn Michaels. Shawn left and he tried to be like, hey, I'm still here. And everybody's like, fuck off.
And I also felt that way about dial-up internet.
Pretty much. Like when everybody tried to use internet, AOL was the king. And AOL dipped and they're like, hey, we're here. Get the fuck out of here.
You've got mail.
The dreaded low blow.
Yeah, that wasn't any low blow. That was just a punch to the nuts.
Yeah, he pretty much uppercutted him in the mess. It wasn't even a.
Back then, they used each other's testicles as punching bags, dude.
I mean, if you watched
It was
wrestling anytime this year, you'd know that they still do Mitch. Now that's a,
I mean,
that's a
not
cool-
as blatant
Oh,
over and over and over. They used to hold on. They used to use bowling balls and bats
There's a wound.
to
Yes,
hit each other in the nuts with. That was the hold on real quick. That was the time of Jackass when it was fun to kick each other in the nuts.
Now I don't
Jackass
know
was
if it actually holds.
Jackass was around the 99 2000.
Yeah, that was absolutely a punch to the nuts. And
And
that's just amazing that he had children after that.
Right? So what I'm saying, dude, like but some bodies are just more resilient than others. I know I'm one of them. Like you would think certain things would keep them down, but no.
if I had to rate this match at this point, I'd rate it hepatitis C minus.
Yeah, right. I know how the hell he hasn't gotten Hep C is beyond me. Like, how the hell has he not had some? I think he. I don't know.
One
I don't
thing
want to
that's
say that. It's really hard for him not to, though, with all the blood he was in contact with. I mean,
one of the interesting things about Mick Foley, he did the double. He just knocked out the Spanish announcer.
What do they do to the Spanish and that? What is it with them and discriminating against the Spanish folks?
And it was always,
they're pushovers.
it was
Yeah,
always that one. I believe he's Yokozuna.
it's fucked up.
I
It's like
think
they
Minutes of the week.
if I'm not
push them
mistaken,
over every week.
somebody hit him with a shoe once and busted him open. The
Sounds
Spanish
like
announcer.
that's what they did to Saddam Hussein. What the fuck?
I'm not gonna touch that.
Oh, come on, that's a joke.
Oh man, Triple H. Just taking it. 1, 2, and the kick out. Earl Hebner still collecting that check at the time, boy. Woo.
Oh yeah. All have no
The ultimate traitor, dude. Oh my god. He did his job well, at least. I mean,
he was just there.
but that was back in the days of when backstage was literally the Wild West. Like, so you had to like hold your ground. People would walk all over you otherwise.
I mean, considering that Earl Hebner, UFC commentator, was fighting cats in the elevator in 2006, I wouldn't put it past him. Like, man, Wild Wild West indeed. Like sometimes you gotta prove your ground. I feel like Earl did that. I mean,
I will say that Triple H, great seller. Those wobbly legs of his, that's some good shit.
I mean, I think this was during that time. I think this was like the beginning of that string of runs where he would go through face after face after face from like 2000 to like 2004. It was just like you just couldn't stand his ass,
Right.
and people just literally thought he was just like, dude, it's only because you're fucking married to Steph. And I feel like that stain is there, especially considering the fact that the whole China Steph Triple H angle that it's there, but it'll never be discussed in full detail. So
Absolutely. And you're absolutely right about that. Triple H, right now, the Triple H we're looking at is still proving himself. So wins have to kind of matter for him. Because if he don't beat Cactus Jack, if he doesn't beat The Rock, if he doesn't get these wins, nobody's really going to take him seriously as, the top heel in the company. Which kind of. There was no top heel at this point. I think Undertaker's injured right now, and Kane is kind of dropped down, and nobody hates, Mankind or The Rock. So they essentially have to build this guy to be an actual threat to, Stone Cold or The Rock. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
yeah, and there's actually I forgot what it was called. It was a YouTube video about that where they were trying to prove like how wrestling is legit as far as like theater. And what they did was they broke down the story of Triple H and everything that in this story. And I forgot the name of it, but I will get it.
Are you referring to the video that Max Landis did about Triple H's career, where he hires everybody to play
Yeah,
three
yeah,
people?
yeah, that one.
It's got Jesse Roberts, whatnot. And Triple H was the former T-Mobile girl, the one who accused Chris Hardwick.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, though, like that. To me, that story. If you really want to know the Triple H story, watch that video because that is
I'll say
the
this:
epitome.
there's some bad connotations to that situation in that video with the female in that video. What happened to her? But it is a funny video. I will say that. I saw it back in the day, and it made me crack the fuck up.
Yeah, I got to remember the name of that video because it was pretty dope. That was a
I have
really.
it saved in my. If I can find it, I'll send you the link to it.
That's the one I would refer everyone to watch because I think Triple H in 2000, it's literally spot on. He's just like defining him. He's basically
It's
attaching
like something
himself to
like
the title.
wrestling is real life or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Wrestling is something. Yeah,
Yeah.
wrestling is real or something like that. But yeah, that part in 2000, from 2000 2008, it all is like spot on with what Triple H was as a character.
It's so funny for people who have been through that time and seen what happens. It's so funny. It is.
Yeah,
Now, this took place on January 23rd, 2000. Uh, it will be, well, that was 21 years ago, if you could believe it. It took place in New York City at Madison Square Garden with an attendance of 19,231. So not a bad house for WWE in 2000. I mean, this is basically peak WWE right now we're watching, right?
The peak on the way down.
I was gonna say it's actually on the way down. It's after the peak.
The peak on the way down.
The peak's already over. 99 was the peak, I think.
Yeah, like 98, 99 was the peak.
Yeah.
And when Triple H kind of took over, I feel like
99 maybe is when
like in character he was great, but as far as like people hated the way he just won all the time, that's what like he became what Cena was from 2004 to 2010.
But I feel like when he got that, like all that, yeah, like that's why a lot of people didn't like him because they felt he was a hypocrite. He fought against the establishment until he became the establishment.
And to your point, Coleco, I think it's more John Cena was from 2006 to 2015.
Oh, yeah, 2006, 2015. No, I say 2006 to 2012.
Well, 2013 is when he won the championship again from the Raw. I mean, that was literally the biggest time.
But during that time, I think that was the rise of Punk, Bryan, the Shield. It was a lot of a wave that was coming, and then when Punk left, it left that gap for Daniel Bryan. Because remember, he did take the loss to Daniel Bryan at SummerSlam.
Oh, that's
actually his worst record is at SummerSlam. He had like a 8-year losing streak at SummerSlam.
And let's get The Rock makes an appearance in this match too.
But back to the match, I mean, Cactus Jack's handcuffed, getting his ass whooped. I like my man in the row with the Tennessee Titans jersey in New York City. I'm like, what more out of place you gotta be?
Well, I mean, the Titans were going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but no, 2000. Yeah, I think it was what Titans.
And they choked to the St. Louis Rams.
Oh, the 1 yard, the greatest game ever. That's the greatest game.
Yeah, that was a shit.
That was a great game. The way that it ended, anyway.
I don't know if it's the greatest game. I didn't like the Rams. Okay, because I'm a Niner fan, and the Rams were in the division of the 49ers. I never liked the Rams. So.
I get it. I get that. Like I'm that way with the Saints. Like
it's changed now because they're not in the same. Well, yeah, they are.
Like fuck the Saints.
I was gonna say they're not in the same division. Yeah, they are.
Nice little low blow. Cactus Jack getting offense, literally handcuffed. That doesn't tell you.
You know what? I will say about.
I think this was post Tyson biting.
Yes.
Oh,
I will say.
Sorry.
I will say Triple H looks more worse for wear than Cactus does. Now, obviously, we're not going to watch the whole show tonight, but the other matches on this card was Taz defeating Kurt Angle by submission, the Hardy Boys defeating the Dudley Boys in a tables match. I believe that's the first ever tables match as well. Chris Jericho defeated Chyna and Hardcore Holly. Scooter?
Stoppage. If you ask Kurt Angle. And Angle, storyline wise, didn't consider it a loss.
Right. I mean, there's an asterisk there. Jericho defeated Chyna and Hardcore Holly for the Intercontinental Champion. the New Age Outlaws defeated the Acolytes for the tag team championships, and The Rock won the Royal Rumble by eliminating the Big Show.
Which people will tell you is not the case.
Yes.
Because The Rock's feet actually did touch first.
Did they?
Which led to the Fatal 4-Way at WrestleMania 2000.
It was a botch, though. It
That's
wasn't
right.
intentional.
Yeah.
And there's The Rock, as you alluded to.
And also, of course, this was the time the catalyst for this match was the biggest at the time. What was the biggest defection from one promotion to another with the Radicals?
That's right. That's definitely maybe a lost piece of history. Is maybe the best way to put it.
Unfortunately, because of who's tied to it.
I regret never getting a Chris Benoit Cactus Jack match.
Ooh.
Oh, that would have been great.
Well,
That would have been
Speaking of
amazing.
which,
Say what you will about what happened, but Benoit was still one of the greatest wrestlers.
speaking of which, what matches have never
The
happened? You got like
the Rabbit Wolverine.
Rock HBK.
Yeah, they're just different people,
Rock,
in my opinion.
Rock HBK never happened.
Nah,
Bret
those are
and
two.
Dude Love never
Hold on,
happened.
real quick. About that, that's contrasting styles, though. I feel like that's kind of like an HBK Hogan situation, where like, and then the bell rings kind of situation.
I disagree with that. I mean, Brock versus Michaels.
I mean,
that sounds like a barn burner to me.
Back then, I'm talking about back then. I'm not talking about Brock we know today.
It almost.
I'm talking about before football, Brock.
It was going to happen around 2002. But yeah, of course, the huge match. Everyone was really talking about that. That people really wanted to see when Shawn Michaels came back was Rob Van Dam versus Shawn Michaels.
Backstage politics, I think.
And instead we get a one-off match on Raw.
I think Shawn Michaels and the Click pulled things to keep Van Dam down, but yeah.
I think that it was always.
But wasn't Shawn out of his asshole stage at that point?
Oh, for sure. Oh no! By 2002, like he was in a transition period from like 2000 to 2002.
Oh god.
When he found God,
yeah.
Which is understandable.
God, that table not breaking.
The fact that he rolled into the tax. Oh, pedigree. This got to be it. 1, 2, 3. No, kick out. And the crowd was like, "Yeah, fuck Triple H."
Yeah.
But that didn't tell you fuck Triple H. Cactus
Dude,
Jack.
back in the day, okay. Back in the Attitude era, if the biggest compliment could be for a heel to get, like, for me and my friends to cheer a heel, that means they're doing something really right. And, like, I feel like, yeah, The Rock, a few people like that. Like, they were so badass, they were cool, kind of thing.
Oh, that was just.
I am shocked that a tack didn't go through his eye.
Yeah. I'm hella shocked, bro. Because, yo, jeez. I just saw that and I'm like, yo, face first, bro? Like.
Yeah.
That was brutal.
He used to
That
do
dude-
all that crazy shit. Yeah, with the gurney down the ramp, all that crazy shit.
That dude made Kaiser so much money.
I mean,
Right?
Mick Foley didn't win a lot of matches in his career, but he sure as hell made you earn your victory against him, didn't he?
In some cases, yes. In some cases, no. And the only reason I say no is because they cheated. Like The Rock, when The Rock had the arena match and he faked him saying I quit, or Triple H constantly cheating. So that's where I would say like it came to the point where like you literally had to like either kill him or cheat your ass off to get there. And this reminds me of like Triple H on the gurney. It's like WrestleMania 27 where Triple H walked out and Taker was on the gurney, and everybody's like,
Right.
"Yeah, he looks like he got the brunt of that." And then they go to the back, and he pushes the gurney.
Oh no, you're not getting away with this.
Get your ass back here. To me, that's some heel shit, though.
But that's who the people liked. I mean, all honestly, Stone Cold was not a face at all. It's just he did bad guy things to people that they just didn't like.
No, I think Stone Cold was more of a tap into what we wanted to do to Arbach.
True.
I felt like that's where he tapped in the most because it was mostly men that like grown men that was like, bro, I want to fucking yank my boss so bad by the throat back in '98. But I mean, to me, doing all this shit after the match is kind of pointless because it's over. I mean, what good is doing all that when you ain't got the belt, bro?
It made him feel better.
Oh yes, I feel better because I didn't win the match.
It is almost midnight for me here.
What, is that old for you, Grandpa?
Right, well,
Is that late for you? Did I say old? Oh my god. Is that late for you, Grandpa?
we'll stop this one here, and we will reset for the next one. And we're back, and we talked to Scooter, and he said that he will go all night if he has to do this watch along, even though it's midnight. We are at Royal Rumble 1994, the Undertaker Yokozuna casket match for the WWE Championship. Once again, you want to get out your WWE Network, your DVDs, your VHSs, your Betamaxes, however you want to watch this match. Most preferably, WWE Network has this match on at 1 hour, 8 minutes, and 29 seconds into the paid preview. That's where you want to pause. We'll give you 1 moment. And then I will count us down from 3 to 1, and then you're going to hit play. Does everybody understand me?
I don't understand how to press the button. No, I'm joking. Sorry.
3, 2, 1. And we are.
All right.
Howard Finkel.
I think.
Is the casket out of the entrance yet? I asked.
Not
Yep.
yet.
Not yet?
Not yet.
Oh. I thought I heard a yes.
We
Okay,
got,
sorry.
Howard Finkel.
No, we're at the Fink.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
it's.
I feel bad I killed him this year.
It's
Yeah.
the YouTube synced up differently from the network, so yeah.
Yokozuna.
Yokozuna, Mr.
Okay.
Fuji, Jim Cornette.
Yeah, literally when the gong hits and the Undertaker music plays and it peeks out of the curtain is where I'm at. So
Was there anybody bigger than Yokozuna, figuratively and literally?
physically or
Figuratively and literally in 1994.
Well, I
Not
mean,
a big pun, but we didn't know who he was yet.
93 and 94, he was the king. I mean, he was the new King Kong, the new baddie in town. After he beat my hero Bret Hart at WrestleMania 9, I wanted to see him dead. So, sorry. Guys.
but Yokozuna really wasn't the way they were advertising him to be.
I thought the way he, his minimalism made it so much more. It's to where a little shot would rock a guy. I felt like that told a story.
Now,
I think less is more with Yoko.
Now, 6 months prior, at the first King of the Ring pay-per-view with Hogan and Yokozuna, you go back and watch that match. Hogan gets in literally 6 moves of offense, and they're all right hands.
Yeah, I know. The 6 moves of doom like Nash, but less. Okay, so
definitely
it's like
Yokozuna.
2 moves of doom. It's a boot. 3 moves of doom.
Peek it
punch,
out,
a
peek it
boot,
out,
and a
peek
leg
it out, peek it out.
The
Okay.
Picking
casket's
out.
coming out.
Casket.
Boom,
Picking
let's go.
out.
Okay. Good shit. Thank you.
Oh, Paul
Okay,
Heyman.
Paul
Paul
Bearer.
Bearer.
There he is. Yep.
I heard that, James.
Paul
Paul Heyman.
Yeah. Paul
you really say
Bearer. It just broke my heart watching that documentary about him. It was so good.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, as shitty as WWE storylines have been of 2020, their production's still on point. So,
I don't think it's what it used to be, though. I really don't. In terms of storytelling.
Now, the thing you have to understand about the casket match in the 90s, now, technically this was...
The second or third.
And that's not even true. Because the WWE were doing casket matches as early as 91.
Right, but they were on dark shows. Or non-televised shows.
And Survivor Series 92 was called a coffin match.
Right.
So, for all intents and purposes, this is actually the first really official casket match.
Okay, so the one you're calling a coffin match, was that Kamala?
Yes.
Okay.
Again, rest in peace. Jesus.
Yeah, rest in peace, Kamala. Hey, rest in peace. Well, I missed this. I must have been off the show when this happened. I met the guy. I have to say this. Rest in peace, Nikolai Volkov. Fuck.
yeah.
I got a photo with him on my fucking Facebook.
I mean,
other
than Undertaker, Paul Bearer and Yokozuna both dead, unfortunately.
I saw Nikolai Volkov at a AWF show on Staten Island in '93, along with Greg the Hammer Valentine and Captain Lou.
See, I have a really good Nikolai Volkov story. He pulled a rib on me and he gave me bunny fingers. And put bunny fingers on my head.
Interesting.
An old man rib. I just went with it.
Now, this was the first time we ever saw fear on Yokozuna's face, because he had a phobia of caskets, correct?
I think anybody would have a phobia of caskets.
I think it's more or less a phobia of death that the casket represents, but yeah.
Look at
Now, if it was a spider,
exactly. That comes later.
See, I don't know what to say with this because this. Oh, I can't. Okay, what I'm thinking, I can't say it. Never mind. I was gonna say this is just not a good in context of history that we now know. This isn't a good omen for Yokozuna.
Because they're billing him as Japanese, even though he's Samoan.
Because of his future. I'm not gonna get into it. Never mind. It's a bad omen. Never mind. Never mind.
I mean,
know it's tasteful.
and to think that this really wasn't supposed to happen.
What was the original plan?
Because
I'm glad this happened.
Undertaker replaced Tatanka.
Tatanka?
Really?
They haven't even.
No,
okay,
hold on. Can I finish? At Survivor Series.
Was that before they heel turned him with DiBiase?
The heel turn happened at SummerSlam '94. I'm talking about Survivor Series '93.
Okay, so that was the undefeated Tatanka. Okay.
On this show, it was supposed to be Tatanka and Ludwig Borga. And
the Nazi guy?
Ludwig fucking Borga. What? They gave him a win over Tatanka after they built Tatanka. I don't get that. And then Ludwig Borga just disappeared.
He's dead.
Yeah.
He didn't die then, though. He didn't die then. I mean, he disappeared then. Like, he was one and done. He had a cup of coffee and he left, and he just never was seen again. He wasn't dead for a good decade.
He was
Mitch.
Die Hard with a Vengeance. Borga was actually supposed to have the title by this time.
Yeah, and then the bell rang. Exactly.
And
excuse me.
We were
look at that chair shot.
Yeah, Luger and Borga. And then they brought, when they thought Borga was gonna come back. No, again we get Tatanka and Bam Bam Bigelow finally into that feud.
Oh my god, that was the shits.
That was an interesting chair shot. That was just a non-folding
that
chair.
Into Doink and Bam Bam, but yeah, sorry, guys.
Oh, the sacrificial smelling salts, or whatever you call them.
The salt to purify the sumo ring.
Okay, I was just gonna ask where we're at about the same area. Okay.
Yeah.
And now Undertaker swinging at ghosts.
I mean, at this point, Taker kind of wasn't he like injured or some shit, and he had to take some surgery, time off?
I think that was.
If I remembered it right.
He did take time. I'm pretty sure this is the match where he dies and goes to heaven.
Okay.
Yes,
so
and then he comes back, and they have the fake Taker, the $1 million Taker.
This period to SummerSlam, he's completely gone, and then they do the DiBiase double Undertaker gimmick.
Yes, because I was watching. Trust me, I watched '94.
Oh,
this
that
shit,
was my childhood.
Yep.
That's prime my WWE.
This is me watching. This was me when I was watching Raw, all the Raws from like '93 on, including pay-per-views. So, yeah, this shit was cray.
Yeah.
And looking at it as an adult, you're like, what the fuck, bro? What the fuck?
Oh, but it was the absolute shits when you were a kid.
Oh yeah, because I hated Jeff Jarrett and
yes.
Diesel being at a baseball game, and I'm like, David Robinson's right there, but everybody's running to Diesel. Get the fuck out of here at the All-Star game.
One of my first big memories in wrestling was the USS Intrepid slam with Luger and Yoko.
This match took place January 22nd, 1994 in Providence, Rhode Island at the Providence Civic Center. The attendance was 14,500.
Which is more people than Rhode Island actually has.
Well, I'm sure they got the New York crowd.
Okay, real quick. So this was right after the Luger experiment, right? So were they gonna switch to Tonka out for Luger in the Royal Rumble?
No, this was actually during the Luger experiment.
No, it's right after Survivor Series '93. They ended it.
No, because remember WrestleMania 10, Luger?
Oh wait, he won the Rumble with Bret actually, but that was after that. So yeah, that was after that.
And Luger was apparently supposed to win at WrestleMania 10. And
Right, they
planned
changed
the day of.
I can't believe that it
I just
changed
thought-
the day. Oh, that was.
I thought Luger would have been involved in that.
Because Luger was blabbing about it
Luger was not
the
a
night before.
professional back in the day.
First off, I wanted to say that
He'll tell you that.
The way Bruce Pritchard explained it was that they were doing a test run, and that's where you saw where they had the recording tapes of him saying "and new WWE champion."
And new WWE champion.
And what was happening was the company was wanting Luger, however, the crowd was wanting Bret.
Right.
Especially after Bret last year.
Right.
But to me,
Bret.
Yeah. And that's where I think because Bruce was like, they had to tell the networks who was going to be the champion. They kind of had to give it away in a sense, as far as like for television purposes. But if I remembered that story correctly, what Bruce was saying.
Okay, well, it worked out because Bret ended up winning WrestleMania 10, and that's the way it should have been. So.
And some people have Bret as the #1 WWE champion because of the fact of that.
And Yoko's laying in the casket. Yep, there's Crush.
The way I saw it was
rest in peace.
Brian
was
Adams.
when
Well,
he
half
told,
of these people are gonna be dead. I mean,
the way
it's
I
horrible
saw
to say, but it's the wrestling rule of Roddy Piper's. Go ahead,
Lex Luger, when they did the Lex Express, that was gonna be, propel him for SummerSlam. What
Great Kabuki.
It did.
But
it just didn't follow through.
But what happened was he didn't want to be on that bus. He didn't want to interact with the fans. He didn't like giving autographs.
Wait, who is this? What's his name? Is his name Kabuki?
And that's why.
Yes, Kabuki.
That's Great Kabuki and
Kabuki. I just want to make sure.
That's why they went with Bret instead of Luger.
Orient Express. Yeah.
Kabuki-ish, if you will.
The Orient Express. Okay.
Now the other matches on this card, if you want to go and see them, is Tatanka versus Bam Bam Bigelow with Luna Vachon.
Speaking of Bam Bam.
The Quebecers versus Bret Hart and Owen Hart.
Which started the King of Hearts. Yeah.
Yes.
Out from under me.
Yeah.
You should have taken the tag. Make the tag.
Yeah, and the other Japanese guy, of course, is the legendary Junichiro Tenryu.
Razor Ramon versus RIOS, man.
Yeah, I know too.
And Bret Hart and Lex Luger winning the Royal Rumble by eliminating each other. If that makes sense.
They look like they're choking Undertaker right now.
Yeah, they being.
Getting a couple shots in there.
Oh! Nut shot. And now Cornette's gonna get it. There goes Cornette.
I'm just gonna throw this out there. Paul Bearer at that point, bad homie. Why are you not getting your crew to help your boy out? Like, why you ain't getting?
Because he was fighting his crew.
And, well, hold on, Coleco. You could say he is by raising the urn, giving him the power.
The horrible homie, like
he's giving him the power. What are you talking about?
Hey, this ain't Thundercats. Like what the hell?
It's the WWE universe.
And Adam Bomb.
Uh-oh.
Brian Clark.
There's Chronic in the ring together. Yep.
Brian Clark, who was rumored after the oh my God, Jeff Jarrett.
What a ring attire.
Jeff Jarrett at that time. I'm gonna tell y'all right now because this was when '94. This was when Jeff Jarrett was going back and forth from WWE to USWA.
Yeah.
When I was living in Memphis at the time. Bro, he was over like over in Memphis. And the biggest storyline at that time in '94 with the USWA was Jerry Lawler, Jeff Jarrett against the Moondogs. Because the Moondogs was just running shit all over the city. And Jeff Jarrett and Jerry Lawler would try to beat him. And then Jerry Lawler and Kent Bill Dundee tried to beat him. Then Jerry Lawler and Brian Christopher tried to beat him. So it was pretty dope shit in the South during that time.
In 2001, after the WCW buyout, after before Chronic's miserable failure, there was
Chronic
a
was a
huge
miserable
rumor.
failure before and after.
They were over in WCW.
In what year?
They were in 2000. They were over. They were one of the most entertaining parts of WCW.
Yeah, between them and the boy band.
There's the head
And
shrink.
it didn't transfer well to a WWE audience. But before that, there was this huge rumor that they were going to push Brian Clark at a bomb to the moon.
Yeah, I heard that too, but it didn't happen. So
you know what's funny though? Like
Crush and Atom Bomb. Yeah, go ahead.
Go
9-year-old me was like, why ain't none of the good guys out there helping his ass? Like,
thank you.
9-year-old.
What the hell?
This is why I said bad homie help. Like nobody making a save. It's like the Wu-Tang Clan on everybody.
So in '94,
Diesel out in that bitch.
You're 9 in '94. I'm 10. Okay.
Yeah, I was 9 when this pay-per-view hit, and my birthday hit the next month, 10. So yeah, 9-year-old me was like, no homies out there. Damn, Undertaker got no friends. No friends.
Technically, Yokozuna is part of BSK, but he is wrestling.
That's behind the curtain. Yeah.
Meanwhile,
are we not going to mention that Jeff Jarrett went off the top rope and never even touched Undertaker?
And real quick, there comes the sewage out of the urn.
Yep.
Actually, that's COVID.
I'm saying.
COVID.
See, Jeff Jarrett. There you go. Oh my God, he didn't even. I mean, Jeff Jarrett got enough on it.
Where it came from? Okay.
He got nothing on him.
It came from a foreign object urn, just out of.
I'm trying to figure out what beef did Diesel have with the Undertaker to come out here. Like, how many of these people have?
I just heard like, Sorry.
Like all these people that came out, like, did he owe these motherfuckers money or something? Like,
guys, I know what that urn. What we just saw, that King Kong Bundy farted in that urn, and they opened it up 10 years later.
I mean, I'm like, Undertaker must have had a lot of debts in the back or something, like, cause they just breaking his ass off, son. Like, like Yoko put the hit out.
Funny enough, 7 years after this, actually 6 years, Bam Bam Bigelow would take part in another in-ring mass attack in Ready to Rumble.
A mass burial?
In Ready to Rumble.
Ready to Rumble, yep.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And the match officially over.
All I'm saying is Rikishi was way more fit in '94.
And when that music hit when I was a kid, here's where the chills start. Like, okay, now I'm just like, oh, this is bullshit. And then when it hits near the curtain and that Undertaker thing hits the screen, me as a kid, I'm telling you, I had goosebumps. I didn't understand it, so it was magical to me.
Oh, I get it, because when Undertaker used to come out, I just ran to the other room. That shit go dark.
This in specific. And there's Diesel. There's a pre-face turn Diesel.
I know, they had like, weird.
How grateful are we that Yokozuna decided to put tights over his
ass crack?
Yeah, they did want him to go sumo. They wanted him to do that. They wanted him to have. They want him to wear butt floss, basically.
Well,
That's the tradition, though, ain't it?
yeah.
But who wants to be mooning the kids?
No, be glad he didn't have like
You don't wanna
he
moon
was
the
out
kids.
there butt ass naked.
they're all kids, dude. I mean,
The thing is that you got to remember that Rikishi
here we go. Dong.
was supposed to be Yokozuna
That's right.
in
Really?
90. When he came
Yeah.
back. That was
Yeah.
supposed to be Yokozuna.
I could tell because the thong they put him in. I was like,
Well, keep in mind,
Yokozuna for sure.
but keep in mind, Yokozuna resembled one of the most popular Street Fighter characters, E Honda in '94. So it made total sense for him to be.
And here we go, lights are out.
It made total sense for him to be Yokozuna.
And when I read in the Street
COVID is
Fighter
not coming out of the
book
casket.
that it said Yokozuna means grand champion, I'm like, I know that word.
You know what's funny? The casket's on fire. Ain't nobody hitting the exits because the building might be on fire.
It's just smoking from within.
No, I know. I'm just saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, oh my god, because you remember back then they were like, oh my god, the casket's on fire because it's gonna hit lightning and ain't nobody evacuating the building.
Oh yeah, then yeah, I know.
9-year-old me was like, why ain't nobody leaving? This shit's on fire.
This is what I chalked it up to as a kid. Like, if you see a ghost, are you gonna go looking for it and check where you saw the ghost? No, you're gonna get the fuck away from there.
Yeah, that was my point. I was like, why ain't nobody leaving? 9-year-old me was like,
get the fuck out of there.
Why y'all looking? Like, get the hell up out of there.
I would have, just run away.
See, if Kama was there, he would have ran.
Or Kamala.
If Kama Mustafa was there, he would have got the hell out of Dodge.
Unless
Kamala.
Unless the head was
Kama?
in play, then he would have fought.
Kamala.
Mm-hmm. If Men on a Mission was there, they would have got the hell out of Dodge.
Will not rest in peace. And then, you think you're going to see Double Vision? Nope, that's just Marty Jannetty in a very dark jacket.
You know what's funny, though? Right after this, as soon as Taker came back, the Heart Attack Tour, San Diego, August 15th, Yokozuna versus The Undertaker.
Yeah, because that was like a show stealer then. Like, that was a way to bring people to the arena then.
Yeah,
Kept floating and shit.
A lot of people.
He's so much thinner, Mommy.
This is one of the few feuds where the rematch is fought under the same stipulation.
Right. With Chuck Norris as the special enforcer.
Oh my God,
Chuck freaking Norris.
Because I remember because I was watching it. They had old boy, I forgot his name. Todd. Is it Todd Phillips?
Todd Pettengill.
Todd Pettengill. Todd Pettengill with a fucking one ear piercing with the little shit dangling like
with the little rat ponytail.
Like George Michael with the ponytail with the cowboy hat.
Yeah.
Like what the fuck?
Todd Pettengill was my my local radio DJ. And
yeah, that's right. Because he was in New York.
Yeah, he was in New York. Yeah.
You New Yorkers are spoiled as fucking rotten. You're gonna get in too pretty soon, buddy.
They are, because they get all the like meet and greets and shit, and I'd be like, "Fuck off!" like fuck off. West Coast gets nothing. If it wasn't for the wrestling guy story,
I know.
we'd be fucked.
I know.
We'd be fucked. And then we had the one WrestleCon. We had the one wrestling con that was that I went to meet the Undertaker. Funny, we have this match, and this was 2 weeks before the nation shut down on COVID on my birthday.
All right.
February 29th, I spent my birthday meeting the Undertaker. Boy sounded like Patrick Mahomes.
Not a bad way to
Paul Bear looking crazy now, raising the urn around. Yeah, sorry.
Oh yeah. Oh, now he wants to be a homie. Get the fuck out of here.
Because Undertaker is now ascended, and now he can pull some favors from the heavens above, or
dude was getting
below, whatever.
Dude was getting jumped by like 30 people, like literally the whole Royal Rumble lineup came out and beat his ass, and ain't nobody, he ain't do shit.
Okay.
But now he flies into heaven, and he's like, "Oh my god, he's my friend!" Like, get the fuck out of here, bad homie help.
All right,
Yeah.
That shit don't fly in the hood, yo.
that will conclude this match for the watch along, and we should be setting up for Royal Rumble 1993. Bret and Ramon. We're
55 minutes, 19 seconds.
We're gonna wait for you to set up, and we're gonna set up ourselves.
So we're going.
And we're back, and we are at 53 minutes and 9 seconds into Royal Rumble 1993. Bret Hart versus Razor Ramon. When I count down to 3, 2, 1, you're gonna push play. In 3, 2, 1.
Hey, yo, Chico. It's the bad guy.
This is just when Razor is kind of coming up as a face, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This,
And here's that old Bret Hart music, baby. Oh! Dun 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 dun.
that guy, whoever's that gorilla position, smoking a cigar.
That you could get away with that shit back then. It was still
Oh,
like the old days.
not with Vince McMahon at the head. He hated smoking.
But that was
He
okay.
hates
That
smoking.
was still when. Yeah, but you got to remember,
Yeah,
James, that was still the monsoon position.
That's true.
The gorilla position?
I'm sorry. The gorilla position. Monsoons. Yeah.
I believe this at the time was a record for a championship opportunity for a recently debuting superstar.
And real quick, here's a did you know for anyone who doesn't know how Bret came up with this jacket. It's a thing from Sgt. Pepper's of the Beatles.
What was the stat?
Well, Razor debuted in October '92, and he eventually wins a 16-man battle royal on Raw. A 16-man battle royal.
Well, he didn't win it. Him and Martel both finished, and then they fought.
That was for the Intercontinental title.
Oh, that's right. You're right.
Yep.
Wasn't it Aaron R. Sykes?
No, in the one of the first episodes of Raw, I believe it was either the third or the fourth. Pretty sure it was the third. There was a 16-man.
That kid looks so stunned.
Battle royal, and that also had the Giant Gonzalez in it.
Oh, I love this. The Razor goes over and throws his. He throws his.
That was such a heel move.
That was awesome. I didn't realize that until now as an adult.
Razor was the first person to say, "Fuck them kids."
I love that. That's awesome, dude.
3 months into his WWE career, he gets a WWE title match.
Right, because Vince saw like money on him, dude.
And did he get any more major championship matches after this?
Aside from the Intercontinental title?
He owned the Intercontinental title for years.
No, WWE.
It's probably his only WWE title shot.
Yeah, I don't remember him getting another WWE title shot or WWF title shot.
I mean, you could make the argument that not a lot of people even remember this match, unfortunately.
That's why I picked it, because
you also have to remember that in King of the Ring '93, they also had a match where they were both face, and many consider that to be the better match.
Yeah, but the Razor being a heel, I think worked better. For this, I think it did. Because Razor's just such a good heel. I think he, like, deep down, he's got that, like, skepticism, like that like downright, like, mean streak.
Razor, compared to obviously Kevin Nash is a monster. He's super tall, but Hall is Razor.
6'8".
Razor
Big guy.
Ramon is not a small guy. I think
He was a
that's always.
bodyguard, dude.
I
Yeah.
always thought that Razor was a little underrated with his size.
I've seen him in real life, and that's in him in his 60s. I'm sure he shrunk since. But yeah, he's a
Well,
big guy.
You also have to remember that this is a guy that had one of the oiliest afros in the history of wrestling back in the AWA.
I mean, his hair's pretty oily right now. Are you saying that's what stunted his growth?
No, what stunted his growth was him being in the hood of Miami with a gold chain and nobody yanking that bitch. That's what.
He looked like the Tom Selleck character. What's that Tom Selleck character?
Magnum PI.
Magnum.
P.O. Yeah.
He was like a Magnum TA-ish type
Magnum
shit.
P.O.
Magnum PU.
Yeah, P.U.
Magnum jackass. But anyway,
All I know is Fuji voice, and that's what I go with, and that's what I watch.
That's stupid.
Featuring the real Rock, Don Morocco.
you know what was funny? When I was, you remember that video game, the WWE, the one that was on Super Nintendo. I can't think of the name of it. WrestleMania.
Super WrestleMania.
I think it was before WrestleMania. I think it was Raw. It was Raw.
Nintendo games.
Raw. It was Raw or Royal
I can
Rumble.
tell you which one. There's Royal Rumble.
It was Royal Rumble.
Was 1993. 93.
Royal Rumble. And in the first wind I got of the Bret Hart Shawn Michaels feud was because of their music.
That was the first game with Yokozuna in it.
And no, the Super Nintendo version had Yokozuna and Ric Flair. The Genesis version had Hulk Hogan and Papa Shango.
That's right. I remember that.
That's an awkward position Bret Hart's in. I don't think I've seen that done quite.
Okay, real quick. You know what I thought he was when I saw that initially. You know what I thought they were gonna do? I thought the spot they were gonna do was Razor was gonna wrap him into what's it? What's that move? No, where he's stretching him from behind.
Oh, okay, and using the post.
Yeah, and using the post for it. I'm blanking right now.
The NES version of Royal Rumble had to separate it from the Sega Genesis version, Ric Flair, Mr. Perfect, Ted DiBiase, Yokozuna, and Tatanka, while the Genesis version had Hulk Hogan, Papa Shango, IRS, which is funny, Jim Duggan, and Rick Martel.
Abdominal stretch.
They really wanted to sell the Genesis version, didn't they?
Real quick.
Yeah, I was pissed. I wanted the Genesis and I didn't have it. I had the Super Nintendo.
I
owned Rage in the Cage for a Sega CD.
Hey James, watch it, pal.
Real quick, I meant an abdominal stretch around the pole. That's what I meant. Okay. Anyways. I had all of those games. I had Raw. I had Rumble. Yeah.
This took place January 24th, 1993 in Sacramento, California at the Arco Arena, and the attendance was 16,000.
My hometown, and Baby Mitch was right above, like where you see where Monsoon and Heenan are. Me and my dad are above that.
Oh, you were at the show?
Yeah, I was a kid. My dad took me to this. Yeah.
That's awesome.
This is Old Arco Arena. Yeah.
Well, this was also the Big Boss Man's last WWE pay-per-view.
Yeah, that's right.
Before he went on to go to WCW, right?
His last big match on WWE TV took place about 1 or 2 weeks later against Doink.
What was that character they had him in WCW? The something angel? What the hell was that?
The Guardian Angel.
The Guardian Angel.
Based on the actual group, the Guardian Angel.
That was just a bad idea.
They actually paid to used.
I know what a guardian
so
angel
much.
is. Yes, I'm just saying that the gimmick, the way they didn't package it like that, like the real guardian angels. They didn't.
Well, the real guardian angels showed up to recruit him.
See, I was so young then, I didn't catch little things like that. So, and with my ADHD as bad as it was, come on now.
They showed up in a Clash of Champions. The boss
Speaking of the abdominal stretch,
the boss was in the downturn. He was self-deprecating, and they showed up at a Clash of the Champions saying, "We're here. We're looking for Ray Trailer."
Hey, Keith.
And
that's when they were trying to make him go up against Hogan. Yeah.
Now, if you wanna watch the rest of the matches on this card, you got
reverse abdominal stretch.
the Steiners brothers defeating the Beverly brothers, if anybody remembers them. Shawn Michaels defeating Marty Jannetty for the Intercontinental Championship. Bam Bam Bigelow, as you said, defeated Big Boss Man. And Yokozuna won this Royal Rumble to start his run of dominance as we have.
And for about 2 years straight, he wore those red tights, but on this night he wore the white tights. So.
And
called the christening.
This is you'll find that the actual Royal Rumble on this match is considered probably the second worst.
Yeah, but I chose this match because this whole show I feel is underrated.
Well, of course. I mean, it
has a special place for me. Yeah.
Well, of course, Baby Mitch was there. Yeah. You watch it.
Right. It's my hometown. I mean, come on. Yeah.
You got those rose-colored glasses on.
We're not knocking your homer pick. I get it.
I mean, considering the actual talent in the '93 match, that was huge.
It's a lot of talent. Yeah.
Seeing Bob Backlund and Ric Flair.
Was that the last time Ric Flair was there? That's what I was about to say.
Yep.
Yeah. Wow.
His last Royal Rumble, because he ended up doing the loser leaves.
Yeah,
Raw with Mr. Perfect.
I didn't remember him much in the '93 Rumble. He was in and out pretty quick.
Yeah, he was in and out because he
dropped. He lasted 18 minutes and 38 seconds.
Yeah, because he lost the title to Bret, and then he lost the title to Bret, and then he was on his way out right around, I want to say,
the end of January.
Yeah, like right around the end of January, because they did the loser leaves Raw match between him and Mr. Perfect. Flair obviously lost, and the rest.
I was disappointed. I thought Flair, Flair was gonna go far. I really did.
Then at Super Bowl that year, Flair shows up, but he can't wrestle because they have he's got a 30-day
no compete.
Keep in mind, '93 in January, that was like the beginning of Raw.
That was the beginning of everything for me, for me.
Yeah, it was the beginning of Monday Night Raw, yeah.
Right, Raw, the beginning of the Yokozuna era, the beginning of Razor and Bret, as Bret as champion.
The beginning of the
1, 2, 3 kid. The new generation.
The new generation.
Yeah.
The beginning of the beginning of Doc Hendricks at 66 acting like he's 45.
Todd Pettengill, 93.
Todd Pettengill acting like he's a tween, a high school graduate.
Yeah.
At this time though, Michael Hayes was still in WCW, and he was going to make it. He was making a comeback.
Word.
Yeah, 95 was when he came back.
Because Johnny B. Bad and Mark Marrow chose him to be his tag team partner.
Right.
Johnny B. Bad. Man, I heard that so long.
He was once let's put this in perspective. He was once touted to be a future world champion, just saying.
Oh yeah, he was talented as shit.
He was with Austin. Him and Austin were going neck to neck in programs.
Yeah.
And you see how that turned out.
Exactly.
I could make the comparison to Mark Mero to Miro in AEW. I mean, maybe the
Yeah,
talent
it's funny.
still,
I was thinking the same thing.
but obviously the timing was never right. Maybe the charisma was never there to begin with. Whatever.
No,
You're saying you
I
don't think
would.
Miro's doing very well?
I
No.
wouldn't say that because at least when he was, at least Rusev came out on a fucking tank. Johnny B.
Right.
Bad didn't come out on a fucking tank.
Yeah, but he had the
Johnny
freaking
B.
bad,
Bad
he had the
came
bad
out in
blaster.
Johnny
He
B. Bad came
had
out in those girly shorts and with that bazooka gun that of confetti.
the bad blaster that either had confetti or fake money.
I mean,
What's the difference?
WCW didn't know how to capitalize on Johnny B. Bad, and WWE couldn't get the rights to Johnny B. Bad, so we got Marco Miro
Okay.
instead. So
You mean the Wild Man
Mark-
was an extension of the like Vince's version of Johnny B. Bad, basically,
well, not really
but
good version,
without gimmick infringement, yeah. So
I
you just
mean,
call him the Wild
but-
Man and have him act a little bit more macho, I guess. I don't know.
keep
But
in mind,
that-
this was WWF when they were doing Duke the Dumpster Drozy, so it ain't it ain't like that shit was like popping in
and
T.L. Hopper,
Hopper,
the Goon, yeah.
where they wanted
Mantar.
Vince wanted a gimmick for every blue collar
Yeah.
job.
Oh, my favorite gimmick, Bastion Booger.
Or what about Bastion Booger was kind of over on Raw.
I like Bastion Booger.
the Repo Man.
Hey, what about Damien Demento?
Wait, hold on.
I mean, Damien
Damien
main evented
Demento.
the Cross Raw.
I know Damien Demento, and I bought a shirt from him, and I didn't realize it was him
Oh
at
my
the time.
guys, real quick. As a kid, Bastion Booger was actually a very scary heel. Like, what was the most scary thing when you were a kid? Germs, boogers.
I thought it was just gross.
Nasty
I'm just saying, a lot of people that grossed kids out to where they were scared. He was menacing the way he acted about it.
Nasty motherfuckers who wore the same tights for like 3 months.
They were stained. They were color stained.
Brown in the back, yellow in the front.
See his skid marks. Yeah.
When a guy's willing to wear tights that actually give him a hump, that I mean, say what you want about Mike Shaw. Mike Shaw was probably one of the most underrated workers
I heard he
of
was
the
really nice. Really
early
nice guy.
'90s. As Norman the Lunatic,
And then the monk, they had him come in as the monk. Yeah.
Friar Ferguson.
The monk who didn't talk. Yeah. That was
Didn't they have like a grunge rock wrestler? I forgot his
Man Rock, who was originally Max Payne.
I was gonna say
See?
that.
You
I
see
was
this
literally
shit?
just gonna say that, yeah.
So 93 was not like.
Yeah, that happened in that was in '95.
No, I'm talking about like 93 to 95 was not like the string of
93 to 95 was Gimmick City, yes. Doink the Clown was a prime fixture.
But Doink the Clown, when he popped up,
I'm talking
it was
about
like
the fake Doink the Clown. That was a little stupid.
And Doink
Yeah.
got
The
over.
evil Doink the Clown was the fucking shit. That was the best. But only Matt Moore could play that. I feel.
Quang.
That's just
Quang.
Savio under a mask.
Yes, Quang.
Is
That's
it
just
Quang
Savio
or
under a
Quang?
mask. Quang.
Quang.
K-W-A-N-G.
Oh my God!
Oh, wait,
just explain it like
he
that.
was-
Hey James. Who was the besides
second.
Shredder? Who was the villain on Ninja Turtles?
I have a video game tribute. Go ahead. But
Besides Shredder,
Toka and Razor?
I don't have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle on my mind.
No, because I thought you were gonna say Quang, and I was
Scooter.
going to correct you to say Quang.
Yeah. Real quick. Okay, speaking of Quang, well, Quang's on my mind because it's probably never going to be again.
Raw 32X.
One of the video games had Quang as a special character.
Raw 32X.
Yes, I was just going to say.
And that was the last.
And that was the one
last
I had.
video game he ever went. He stayed in.
First and last.
The 32X.
It wasn't it wasn't really a 32X system. It was a stop. It was for more colors on the Genesis, but yeah, they called it 32X for a stopgap of the Saturn. I know all about that shit. I could make a documentary about it.
Well, going back to Razor and Bret.
Yeah, go back to wrestling.
This
Sorry.
has been a pretty good match. I mean, Razor, he plays the heel really well, and a dominant heel against Bret Hart as well.
But Bret at this time was
man.
probably because people felt like during the mid '90s, it was funny because there was a list on YouTube of like the greatest WWE champions of all time, and Bret was number one primarily because it was because of what he accomplished in spite.
Look
at that! 1, 2,
Yeah.
oh!
And
It was a big. It was because of what he accomplished.
How he wraps into it like this and then rolls over into the structure.
Exactly. Like, that's why his generalship, like the fact that he was probably
ring awareness.
the safest worker in the WWE at that point.
He says, instead of like getting up and making it look awkward, let me put it on here and we'll just roll over into it, dude. Yeah.
And that was a great way to end the match. I mean, honestly.
And then it's over. There it is.
You know, going back and watching these Bret Hart matches, so underappreciated. I mean, the way he wrestles is so psychological.
That's what I loved about him. That he wasn't unappreciated by me. He was my hero growing up because little things that people took for granted, like that leg, like that hurt arm. He was called the Hitman because he took advantage of it.
Well, I think WWE kind of underrated him right now because, you know, they're
looking
for Hulk
and
Hogan, for that next Hulk Hogan and Lex Luger, you know, obviously coming up.
The excellence of execution.
When that whole year '94 went to shit with, you know, obviously Luger experiment failing, Hulk Hogan leaving, Yokozuna was maybe the longest heel champion at that time. Obviously, at WrestleMania 10, they were like, "Yeah, we need to go back with Bret."
and that's why on the YouTube list they put Bret as the number one number one WWE champion because of the simple fact of what he was able to accomplish in spite of being undercutted and being a champion during probably one of the rockiest times in WWE history.
That's an underrated match for sure, dude.
And when the Diesel experiment failed, Bret got the belt again. So, you know.
Bret was always the reliable go-to guy, dude.
And then Bret was the hottest heel in '96.
Yes.
And
I think it would have been
right after.
What if Bret never left WWE? What would have been? I wish we could have found that.
That's another episode for another time.
I'm just saying. I think about that all the time.
It would have been Bret and Austin at WrestleMania.
I think Bret would have gone strong until like 2001. I really do.
Because to be honest, they said the follow-up for
like
Bret
2001, 2002. I think would have been a swan song. Yeah.
Well, they said the follow-up after the Bret Austin was supposed to have them run it back for the title, and that was up until he left, and that was the whole thing.
I think they would have eventually done a Bret and Shawn, though. I think.
We're gonna start.
I mean, that was.
I think they might have gotten that out of the way in '98, and then '99 you might have had Bret and Austin.
I think '98 it would have been Austin Bret. Like
maybe.
I felt like '97.
Maybe
'97 was like their match was like the match of the night, and then they were going to capitalize off of it.
And we're gonna stop it here, and we will be back in a moment with Coleco's pick: Shawn Michaels versus Sid Vicious at Royal Rumble 1997. And we're back with Coleco's pick. You want to go on the WWE Network, the 2 hours, 23 minutes, and 40 42 seconds into the show.
Yep.
And I'm going to say 3, 2, 1, and you are going to play. And 3,
You said, hold on. You said 32 or 42?
42.
3-2. Okay.
He said
Yeah.
42.
42.
So what is it,
And
32 or 42?
2
It don't matter.
hours, 23 minutes, and 42 seconds. And 3, 2, 1. And we got Shawn Michaels with Jose
I heard that.
Lothario.
Man, this match, you know why I picked this match? Because just like most crackheads that was going through
32?
shit in their life, Shawn Michaels was the biggest dick and was getting his ass whooped real life all over the place. But the one thing crackheads ain't gonna do is fuck up in their hometown. So when he had a match in his hometown, he came to show the fuck out. And it was against Psycho Sid, of course. Which started the end of this whole 2-year thing when he brought him in and then as the bodyguard, and then they kind of went their separate ways, and then Sid came back and won the title from Bret, and then Shawn lost to Sid, and it's just been this back and forth shit. So, and I think at this time, this was probably beforehand, this was probably one of their biggest Royal Rumbles as far as attendance
Right.
at the Alamo Dome. So,
and this is also
it was a
one
big
of the
deal.
very rare instances where the title match happens after the Royal Rumble.
The Royal Rumble, yep. Mainly because Shawn Michaels at this time was uberly popular. However,
And
he was the biggest dick in the backstage. The biggest fan base, yet he was the biggest dick. And it was just like Mary J. Blige. You do your best work when you're going through hell, and he was going through hell, bro.
he was also very over with syphilis.
And he had a lot of sunny days.
He sure did. But this was essentially the last match that of the babyface Shawn Michaels. Because after this he lost his smile, and then it was the fall of this Shawn Michaels, and then we kind of got that douchebaggery Shawn Michaels when he started hanging out with Triple H.
Triple
on
H,
screen.
yep.
And, the formation of the Generation X.
Generation X.
Actually, one could say the real Shawn Michaels' nose was poking out right now, and I think they kind of had to go with it because that's who Shawn Michaels really was at the time.
Oh, you make a good point.
You mean he wasn't the Playgirl centerfold from 1995?
No, he was the wretched, slimy scumbag that would steal your girlfriend when you turned your back.
But this was also during the time when he got his ass beat by a bunch of Marines in Buffalo. So
yeah, and Davey Boy just let him get his ass beat.
He wouldn't even dare.
Well, I mean, they came in at the end, but they laid back and let him get his ass beat.
Yeah, and then what the worst part is that they called Sonny when she was in the room.
Out of it. Yeah.
They had Sonny leave Chris Candido to go to the hospital to check on Shawn.
Dude, if you don't think hold on, do you not think Davey Boy Smith by himself could have just stopped that right there if he wanted to? Of course he could have.
I'm pretty
He
sure.
didn't want to.
I'm pretty sure 122 Kid was in the car as well. I mean,
I heard. Go ahead, sorry.
I mean, if there's a pack of Navy SEALs beating down your friend,
Marines.
Hey, Marines. I'm a Marine.
I'm sorry.
Marines.
I apologize.
I'll fend for these Marines. They beat that ass.
I mean,
there had to been a reason.
Wrestler or not, I'm gonna be hesitant to get into that fight.
Yeah, and let's be fair to everyone, where they were in their lives. Sean Waltman wasn't in a good place, very good place himself then. And I don't think he was very stand up for his friends back then. I think he'll tell you the same.
Neither were his eyebrows.
And this is, again, another thing about this show. This was kind of the start of the upswing of WWE. They did this event, which went into WrestleMania
Um,
13, that started
Actually,
the Austin
And-
era.
hold on. Okay, real quick. Actually, I felt like this was a lull period in like '97, and then it started kicking off at the end of '97.
Honestly, this was also the Royal Rumble where the winner didn't get the title shot.
I love this time. I love this area. I just feel like everyone started coming in at the end of '97 with Austin. That's what I feel.
This was when Austin won, yet he never got the title shot.
Now,
He didn't get going until King of the Ring.
now,
Or wait until '97.
That was King of Ring '96.
Right, okay, you're right.
Shawn-
Later '97.
Shawn's the babyface here, yet Sid is slapping hands.
Right.
Because Sid
Right,
had that fist
thank
bump,
you.
man. Sid popularized the
Okay.
the hood. The hood fucked with Sid because of the fist bump. Straight
Now,
up.
a month
Scooter.
later after this, we would see the first ever WWE Championship change hands on Raw.
With Bret Hart and Razor.
Sid,
Right,
Sid,
the
night-
Fatal Four Way. The
the
Fatal
night
Four
after night after Final Four.
Fatal Four. Or yeah.
That's
Fatal
right.
Four. Real quick though, I'm glad you brought up actually a really good point, Scooter. Oh, okay. So technically, Shawn Michaels was the company's face, the company's baby face that they wanted us to cheer for, right? Sid would come out. This is what I equate it to. Like Nintendo for kids, Sega for teens and young adults. Sid was for young adults, HBK was for teens and young kids.
Are you saying Sid does what Shawn Michaels Nintendo?
No, I'm just saying. Okay, very funny. So Shawn Michaels was the establishment. He was boo. You're not cool. You think you're cool, but you're not. Sid was cool. Who's the man? Like fist bumping everybody.
Yeah, he took them black phrases to a whole nother level. I ain't even gonna lie to you.
Cool.
Like, and plus he's from Little Rock, so he's from the South, so the South was fucking with him.
And hey, my dad and my grandparents from Arkansas.
Of course, Sid's progeny was on Big Brother.
His son is a different story. Yeah, hey.
It's weird that
I don't
you
like
would think
his
Sid was like hella big, but standing next to Shawn, he doesn't seem that tall. Kind of like how Brock seems really, really big, even though Dean was damn near taller than him.
Sid is 6'11", 6'10".
Well, I'm pretty sure after 2001 they put in a couple of inches. After 2000,
Ooh, from the knee injury. Ah, that's fucked up.
That's fucked up. Yeah.
Cold-blooded.
That is fucked.
All joking aside, I did want to mention, we all talking about the Royal Rumble. Pat Patterson made the Royal Rumble. And I'm pretty sure Pat Patterson was a big component of this Royal Rumble as well, wasn't he? And
he had to have been.
Ooh,
I
yeah,
mean, keep in mind, he was the reason Shawn Michaels' finisher was the super kick. So
right.
his fingerprints are all over that shit.
Yeah. I mean,
But-
Sid was really bad to the bone in this match.
Okay, real quick to wrap up what I was getting at. I don't understand what Vince did not see with Sid. Sid had so many pops. Like the roof would come unglued. I don't get it. Like he was over like Rover did.
Because he would
So-
rather be playing softball than wrestling. Mitch.
But if you're over with Hogan, that don't work for me, brother. Hulk Hogan. That
But he
he
didn't show
always
up
around it all the time.
If there's one thing that McMahon hates, it's if you
He-
don't
he-
show up
he-
for shows, and he didn't show up for shows.
Hogan was shooting Hollywood movies for God's sakes. What are you talking about?
Are you saying you wanted to see Sid Justice?
No, I didn't say that. I like the
Sid
Who's
Justice?
the Man Sid, the Psycho Sid. That's the Sid.
I get that. I got that pun.
Yeah.
By the way, Sid also
I was just telling Scooter.
the guinea pig for the casket match.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Ah,
He
never
was
mind.
in the first ones that we talked about a little bit earlier about the live event casket match, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. There was a series of them, and Undertaker actually ended up losing most of them.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, Sid was going into a match with Hulk Hogan.
This was around what you got to remember when Sid first came in '91. He was a face.
Yeah, and let me
Oh,
make a
that's right. And
differentiation.
Undertaker was a heel, which sounds so bizarre nowadays, but he was a heel in '91.
And real quick, what I'm talking about, I'm talking about when he was Psycho Sid. I didn't care for Sid Justice. That was a totally different breed. But yeah,
What about Sid Vicious?
I liked Psycho Sid.
I mean, there was a possible timeline where we were looking at Sid being the second victim of the streak.
Instead of Jake Roberts.
Yeah.
Yeah. hmm
And
okay, real quick to end this, Sid had enough. He was over enough to where I honestly felt like it wasn't a foregone conclusion that Undertaker was gonna go in and get another WrestleMania win. I honestly felt like him and Diesel were like, oh man, the streak might be over this year. Like people might. I actually did thought that
I mean,
because
considering the streak wasn't really acknowledged until
but
WrestleMania 18.
it wasn't, but it was like there was a thing where he's 2-0 now, he's 3-0 now, he's 4. When he got to 4-0, they started bringing it up.
but not in a serious sense of they're going up
But
against the streak.
I heard it. If I heard it, other people heard it.
But the Undertaker said it himself that
Wasn't it like to like 9?
at 10-0 at WrestleMania 18 against Ric Flair is
That's when they brought it up. Yeah.
when he himself acknowledged it in the ring.
I remember it getting acknowledged by maybe not him, but by Vince and the fans. I saw it being acknowledged after the Diesel win in '96.
Yeah, but it didn't become like a thing where it was like a quasi main event thing until
after the Sid win, they put another. I think that was the 10th. Was it?
No,
Ric Flair was the
Ric Flair was the 10th.
Okay, then that was some kind of landmark. That might have been his 10th year. I don't know. It was some kind of landmark.
Yeah, I think it was Flair. Flair, yeah.
There were two.
I forget that part. Yeah.
You forget there were two WrestleManias where Undertaker was not there. 10 and 2000.
Yeah,
I
16.
I do know that. Yes, but what I'm saying is, I remember something being like marking that. Like after he beat Sid, I remember them talking up the streak. Even at 5-0.
This match took place January 19, 1997 in San Antonio, Texas at the Alamo Dome, and the attendance was 60,477. So,
keep in mind,
we haven't hit play yet, have we?
We've been hit play.
Wait, have we?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't.
I told you to press play when he was in the...
ADHD's a son of a bitch, okay?
I kept asking 32 or 42, 32 or 42.
And I kept taking my headset off while everyone was talking.
Well, keep in mind, they go back to the Alamo Dome, which is one of those rare repeats.
Someone tell me where we're at.
Some 20-odd years later.
Well,
Can someone tell me where we're at in the match?
8-9 minutes into the match?
Yeah. Hold on, give me 1 second. We are at 2:37:30 for at least.
Well, I'm on a YouTube video, but
33, 34, 35.
35.
I'm on
36.
a YouTube video. It's different time.
So go to where Sid is bear hugging Shawn.
Okay, thank you. There we go. That's what I needed. Okay, thank you.
There you go.
For saying
that.
Thank you
before
he craps his pants. Okay, here I am. Let's go.
And if you listen really carefully, you can hear the sound of Ozzy Osbourne taking a leak.
The other
But
matches on this card, Hunter Horse Helmsley with Mr. Hughes defeated Goldust
You,
with
Mr.
Marty.
Hughes. Hughes.
Team Mr.
Hughes.
Hughes.
Mr. Hughes. Mr. Hughes?
I
What the
don't
hell?
fucking know.
I'm dead. He said Mr. Hughes.
He defeated
I should have gave you a quick. I should have gave you a quiz question on this.
He defeated Goldust with Marlena. Ahmed Johnson defeated Farouk with the
Wait,
rest
what?
of
Who? Ahmed?
See, he will do this to
Ahmed.
you all day. Dude, he will, James, he will do this to you all fucking day.
Did he say Ahmed or Ahmed?
Ahmed.
I always called him Ahmed.
Jingle bombs.
I
Or
mean,
did he go Middle Eastern and go Ahmed?
Jingle
is
bums.
Ahmed really that far off? Vader defeated the Undertaker.
Cleanly.
There was a match with a lot of Spanish talent that I'm not
Yeah.
even going to
Hector-
try and pronounce.
Hector Garza.
Isn't
Hector
that
freaking
Angel Garza's
Garza.
father? Or grandfather?
No. No. But, of course, Hector Garza, rest in peace.
His progeny, his seed is in the WWE. So
And,
Angel Garza.
and Stone Cold Steve Austin won the Royal Rumble by eliminating Bret Hart.
Which is weird because Austin won, but he didn't get the title shot at Mania.
Right.
The first time that a Royal Rumble winner didn't main event Mania.
That 6-man tag, Canek, Hector Garza, Perro Aguayo, again, rest in peace. Fuerza Guerrera, Heavy Metal, and Jerry Estrada.
And God bless you, Scooter, for helping me out.
I mean, they really weren't that difficult to say.
Keep in mind, Mil Mascaras was in the Royal Rumble match. This was very like Mexican heavy, like the show, like the history of Texas wrestling and in the Latin community.
Because San Antonio was had a major Mexican market.
Yeah, but they AAA Mania was also closer around this time, and Vince wanted to expand into Mexico. I mean, the pre-show, the dark matches were all lucha libre. Perro Aguayo Jr. and Venom defeated Maniaco and Mosco de la Merced. Blue Demon Jr., Octagon, Teneblas Jr. against Abismo Negro, Heavy Metal, and Hysteria. Heavy Metal wrestles twice on this.
And the Royal
and his
Rumble
tag
match,
partner.
Here's a little bit of trivia. Who eliminated Mil Mascaras?
Himself.
Yeah, he jumped off the turnbuckle.
Because he said, I know Yob.
No
I
Yob.
know Yob. I know Yob.
No Yob.
I'll just jump off myself. Okay, so real quick, me as a little kid, I was almost 13 at this point. So, as a small teenager, I literally the air went out of the room when Shawn Michaels beat Sid. I was just sitting there
Isn't
silent.
that Pat Patterson right there? That tried to stop Sid?
No, that's
I don't think
that's Tony Guerrero.
Yeah, that's Guerrero. Guerrero, whatever.
One of them. There's the rough bump.
And that's some bullshit. And then he went home and he had his feelings hurt and he went home and he quit.
But
and other people had to step up for him.
Oh, there's my
like Sid, the real man, Bret Hart and Sid.
But when you think about it, like Shawn Michaels having this match in his
And
hometown.
Invader.
This was like CM Punk, like as far as like the crowd. This was like CM Punk Chicago-ish.
And the replacement referee, Mike Chioda.
I just said that.
No.
And
There's the camera. Like he just yanks that hoe. Like, give me that bitch.
if I'm not mistaken, Sid hit Michaels with a camera at Survivor Series.
Yeah.
Okay, I
Yeah.
kind of for the first time
That's a little
I
payback.
became a for the first time in my wrestling history, I became a heel that night because I cheered when he Sid hit Lothario with that camera and then hit Shawn with it. I cheered my ass off.
Which was the whole reason Lothario was in the corner in the first place.
To take bumps for Shawn?
And hell yeah. 1, 2. No, but keep in mind, like this is when like Lothario came in the picture when Shawn first got the title shot.
Yeah.
So
I know Shawn didn't
that's
like
where he
having
became a fixture.
Lotharios there. Oh, super kick.
But here's the thing, Lothario, he was only there for that run, and then he got out of there when Shawn Michaels took his ball and went home. When he came back, there was no Lothario. Just saying.
Because he
And
didn't
Shawn
want him
Michaels
there.
wins. Shawn Michaels wins with the super kick, the
yeah,
taba
okay.
taba.
You want to know what I heard? I don't think it's like, oh, this is what I heard. I think it's pretty common knowledge. Shawn Michaels' bullshittery got the best of him. I don't think Lothario even wanted to be around him anymore. I think, you know.
That's a possibility.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
It's not out the realm.
No, not even close.
There's
Pat
Patterson.
Said,
Now
Shawn has
you
even
miss.
said, this is the period where he drove people away. He said it himself in his
Now,
documentary.
But
now you missed Pat Patterson there.
But how many people remember Lothario showing up 2 years later?
Not many. I didn't.
Yep.
In
He was
99.
When?
January 99.
At what event? But wait, Shawn Michaels is out by then.
No, he was still WWE champion. He was
99. He's out by 98.
Yeah.
Yeah, 98. He's gone.
Oh, I'm sorry. No. Oh, it was as commissioner.
Oh, okay. You had to be specific.
Yeah.
Okay.
Commissioner.
Okay.
And there he is. The hometown kid gets the win. Everybody's happy.
Oh, but that must have been just like a cup of coffee because like Shawn didn't last long in the commissioner job.
But this was like their biggest crowd.
He came in and out a few times, you know.
I mean, considering in 95, 94, they were doing school gyms, yeah, I would imagine so.
Ooh. School gym. I don't think they were doing school gyms after. I don't know, dude.
I mean, this was the test to see if the Big Four could draw as well as WrestleMania.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. And then some 20 years later, they go right back to the Alamo Dome.
That's right. As far as I know, they gave vouchers out for like discounted tickets at Taco Bell.
It wasn't the Alamo Dome, it was the Astrodome.
Astrodome's actually even bigger than the Alamo Dome. So I think a lot of people say it was a mistake to do that because they had to give away a lot of seats. They had to fill a show, not fill a arena with like they had to fill people onto a show, not a show into an arena. You know what I mean?
Well, around in capacity, there was more. They could have sold more tickets, but still, 60,000 people is not.
But if you can't sell it out, it's gonna look bad.
But keep in mind, like
it wasn't a sellout, so Vince got mad.
Well, keep in mind during like the Big Four, like no one was really like Mania was like the main thing to travel for. So everything else during this time was hella local.
I think but back then I think the WrestleMania season began at Royal Rumble.
That's his. I'm pretty sure that's his brother.
Whose
But the
brother?
guy in the hat was his brother.
Well, whose brother?
Shawn
Sean's.
Michaels' his brother.
Oh, I'm my YouTube.
Shawn.
I'm not watching it anymore.
Because Sean's parents were there.
But
And
there
look at
wasn't-
Vince, like, yes, that's my boy.
We're gonna do so much coke later.
Not knowing later on this year he would help in the most infamous shit ever. Funny how that works.
Yeah.
Funny how that. Funny how that.
Sean crop dusting bits right there.
97 was like started out like, oh, Shawn's gonna be the guy, and then Shawn loses his smile, then Bret becomes like the most over champ ever, and then the screw job. Like, it's funny how like this was, no one would have thought this at this time in 97.
And now we're seeing how COVID spreads.
Yep. Coronavirus. Keep in mind, like, Shawn Michaels hit him in the chest. I mean, at least you could have like bust him in the face. But that super kick, though. Woo.
Think about it. This might be the most camera time Sid ever gets. Zing.
Like,
I mean,
see, like, that's why I said like this. That's why I picked this one, because this was like the hometown kid. It kind of felt like this is the closest to a CM Punk feeling ever.
There's one, the super fan.
The super fan, yeah, the super fan. He always made it.
You're talking about the guy. I know who you're talking about. I know who you're talking about. Okay.
It was always
Kind of like
WCW events too.
Yeah.
I know who you're talking about. He always cheers for Sid. Yeah.
He was just was hugging Shawn Michaels and.
Well, he cheered for. I mean, like the camera goes on him when Sid comes around for some reason.
Oh yeah, and keep in mind, like, you know what's funny? Like when Farouk was doing that whole Nation of Domination thing, that was like the biggest angle in USWA in '95 or '97. Like, they used to have a rap group called PG-13.
Yep,
JC Ice and Wolfie D, and
Dundee's kid, yeah.
They were the intro rappers and shit, and they would do that shit at USWA house shows on Mondays. It was fucking nuts. So I saw that. And then they did an angle.
WWE,
yeah, and they did an angle at USWA where what was it? When Bill Dundee's kid joined the Nation, and Bill Dundee was trying to talk his kid out of joining the Nation and trying to like beat him into not joining the Nation, and he still ended up joining the Nation anyway. It was fucking crazy.
Right. Yeah.
And that will conclude our Royal Rumble watch along. From everyone of Wrestling Entertainment, we wish you a very happy New Year's. And next week we are back live with Wrestle Kingdom review. Night 1, 2, and New Year's Dash. We're doing it all. Until then, you could like, subscribe, and comment both on YouTube and Castbox. Watch us on Saturdays, watch us on Wednesdays as well. And you could always join the conversation on Twitter. I am at JamesJ993 for all your wrestling with entertainment needs. Coleco, where can they find you?
I am Coleco. Let's hope 2021. I mean, we ain't got nowhere else to go but up. But let the Jay White christening begin, baby.
Where can they find Mitch Mayhem if Mitch Mayhem tweeted?
At Mitch Mayhem X, if for some reason you want to get a hold of me. So.
And where can they find Scooter Dust?
They can find me at Soup. No, nobody ran with that. Okay, find me at Scooter Dust and UNBS Wrestling. There's only more Soup.
I had my shit on mute. No soup for you.
Did you get
I'm
a
buying clothes.
Did you get a coat with that bowl of soup?
No, I went to this. I went out to buy clothes, but there's only soup. So I went to the next aisle. There's only more soup. Nobody seen that video?
I thought it sounded like an old stupid Seinfeld joke to me.
That's why I said what I said.
For Coleco Yachts, Mitch Mayhem, Scooter Dust, I'm James J. telling you Happy New Year's and Wrestling with.
Hey, what's up? I need your help. Can you come here? I can't. I'm buying clothes. All right, well, hurry up and
What
come
the-
over. Well, I can't find them. What do you mean you can't find them? I can't find them. There's only soup. What do you mean there's only soup? It means there's only soup. Well, then get out of the soup aisle.
Entertainment.